If a multi-billion-dollar company that people seem to adore like Sony can really screw people over, who's to say your favorite RPG company can't do it either? We're talking digital content today on Game On. Hi everyone, my name is Justin and welcome to Game On, a web show all about tabletop gaming like RPGs, board games, and wargaming. Earlier this week, news broke that Sony lost a licensing distribution rights battle for certain movies, and for those unlucky souls in Austria and Germany, they're going to lose access to those particular movies even though the customers paid for them already. Now, at the time of this recording, it looks like those people are losing the money that they have already paid, with Sony just pulling those movies from their virtual launching devices, such as PlayStation and smart TVs. So what does this have to do with tabletop gaming? Well, sadly it means that even with big heavy air quotes, trustworthy companies like Sony can still end up kind of screwing over the end user. Tech Review USA did a video about this, and he was able to get it out before I was, but he goes into how dangerous this is for the video game world. I'll make sure to leave a link in the video and the description so you can go and see what he has to say, because it is very important as well for video games and other digital content like movies. This is a scary thing for those who buy RPGs digitally. Imagine if Roll20 loses a licensing agreement with Wizards of the Coast and suddenly deletes all the books and other assets from the Roll20 marketplace. Even though it would be a very bad business decision on the part of Roll20, and WotC for that matter, technically in the end user license agreement that you agreed to, by the way, for part of the purchase, Roll20 can just take basically all the assets from your game, including your books, and make them vanish. Now, again, it's in their EULA. I'll put it on screen. It probably wouldn't happen, but it is scary because if you already paid for it and they are taking it away, well, look at Sony. They did it this week, just this week. Sony took away things from people that they already paid for, and that's what I would be afraid of with my books. Now, it's ironic that I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3 in the background, which is a digitally downloaded game from Steam. Now, if Larian Studios or Steam, with their separate EULAs, decided that I can't have this game anymore, they can just take it away. We don't own the digital content. We are licensed the digital content. Let me say it again. We don't own the digital content we download. Now, this isn't new, it's not breaking news, but most seem to forget that purchasing digital content is more like a long-term rental. Books are part of this rule as well. The majority of online storefronts to buy digital versions of books have some sort of DRM attached to them. Amazon is being the first one that comes to mind, or most of them at least have a licensing agreement with a third party or the storefront, reserving them to take the right away from you having the book or access to either re-downloading it or accessing it from another device. I know this may seem like whataboutisms or I'm making mountains out of molehills, but what my fear really lies in is that there's no real consumer protection for this. Like, there is some, at least in America to some extent, but every time you click agree on terms of service and end user license agreements, you're being bound to a contract that may allow companies to take things away from you that you already paid for. But that can't happen with my physical books on the shelf behind me. I own the book. The book is mine. The only end user license agreement that I have to agree to is in the copyright that says I can't make copies of this book and then sell them and redistribute them, which makes sense. And I get it. Believe me, I've seen how much simpler and nicer digital versions of RPG books have helped the community. People love linking D&D Beyond to their virtual tabletop characters. They can even link it to Twitch streams, and you can get rewards and stuff through digital content stores. That is really cool. And imagine buying Cyberpunk Red on a virtual marketplace in a virtual tabletop. It takes 90% of the work out for the game master, as it already has scripted character sheets, tokens, maps, and much more, and it's got hyperlinked, easily findable rules. I understand, I get the appeal of digital content. You can put it on your computer, you can put it on your other devices that get the internet and have apps, and it makes it reachable everywhere. And I can promise you that I don't carry my books everywhere, but I do mostly carry my cell phone everywhere. Now I know it seems like an irrational fear, but we already saw it this week. And if a multi-billion-dollar corporation like Sony isn't going to refund their customers, what makes you think a relatively small virtual tabletop company and storefront will? I promise you I'm not trying to make enemies with RPG companies and virtual tabletops. I have a lot of trust between a lot of these companies, especially the RPG companies, as I send emails to them and we try to stay in their good graces. But after seeing what's happening to those poor people who are losing not only their content that they have bought, but they're not getting their money back, I'm even more hesitant to buy my RPG books digitally. I will continue to support my favorite RPG companies with physical purchases. I will also continue to support my favorite virtual tabletops by buying subscriptions and getting access to some of their other nice member features. Now, this is where I want to hear from you in the comments below. Do you buy digital content? Did you know digital content has this kind of baggage attached to it? I'd love to know your thoughts on the matter. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more tabletop gaming content. My name is Justin. I appreciate you all watching. Make sure to drop us a like below, and as always, game on.